So becoming a digital nomad after 40, you know, we're not like some young kids that are coming out of college and can just live life on a limb and just go do it. Somebody after 40, I would definitely recommend that you actually plan ahead. I would say plan maybe 1 to 2, maybe even up to 3 years to go ahead and decide how you're going to go ahead and go about living your life abroad. Personally, for me, I love to travel. I traveled in the military. I've been to Saudi Arabia, Iraq, of course. I wouldn't say that's a vacation. I also been to Spain, El Salvador, been to Australia a couple of different times, Mexico, of course. I definitely been around, and I've had the opportunity to go ahead and see a couple of different things. I actually bought some property in Ecuador a few years back. What started me on this whole going abroad thing is I was watching a show called House Hunters. I'm sure that some of you may have heard. So on the show, they go to different places and show you 3 different options that the buyer may be interested in. And some of these places do take place in internationally. And they did have a episode on there for Ecuador, which there was a couple from Chicago that flew out and they bought a beach home for under $100,000. So after seeing these people get a great deal on a beach home in Ecuador for under $100,000, I decided that, you know, that is too good to be true. So I did a little bit of research online and whatnot, and I decided to go ahead and hop a flight down to Ecuador. And I flew into Quito. I only brought a backpack with me, and I actually took another flight down to the coastal areas, and I took a shuttle up every little city along the coast and got a kind of like a feel and vibe for it. And you know, from what I gathered in talking to local real estate agents, you know, that was definitely something that is doable. So I left there with a plan and came back, and I purchased some property down there, very cheap, plot of land right adjacent to the beach, only steps away, like $12,000. The guy wanted 25, and I was able to go ahead and negotiate him down to 12,000, which was a good deal. So, I mean, I'm footsteps right off the beach. You know, you get something like that in California, you know, that's definitely going to be, you know, a lot of money. I sure wouldn't be able to go ahead and afford it. So, you know, when I did go back, I did go ahead and purchase the property, and I took my tour guide, the guy that was showing me around, out to eat. And you know, I was truly amazed at, you know, how much money, how far your money goes. I bought him a plate, bought me a plate, had dessert, and you know, it was a big amount of food, you know, and I ended up walking out paying $7. You know, I go to McDonald's, you know, that's almost $7, $8, $9 for a value meal, just for me, of unhealthy food. This stuff was very, very healthy. So yeah, there's definitely places around the world that will allow you to go ahead and live pretty cheaply. So that's definitely something that I'm looking to go ahead and take advantage of. So becoming a digital nomad, well, first of all, let's go ahead and step back. A digital nomad is a person that is able to go ahead and work online, make his income remotely, basically from a laptop, desktop. You know, that person does not have to be tied to an office. So that gives that person an opportunity to go ahead and travel the world. And one goal of a nomad, in my sense anyway, is to make American money and go to some of these countries that you can live like a king on a fraction of the cost. Some countries that come to mind off the top of my head: Thailand, Vietnam, Colombia, Ecuador, maybe parts of Panama, maybe parts of Costa Rica, Honduras. You know, there's places just all over the world that, you know, seem to not struggle as much as, say, one would here. Just one example out of many. And you know, I just think that women abroad, they are more outgoing than American girls, I guess you could say. Now, there's some places that are conservative, you know, like Japan, or you know, Korea, or Some of these other countries, they're very conservative. Okay, Saudi Arabia, but there are some countries out there that they do not have a problem with approaching you, letting you know what the deal is and what to do. Okay, so you're definitely going to be treated more so like a king by some of these women in these other countries than what you will here. Okay, and I talked about it in the first section, but this, I think, is probably the most important thing out of everything is, the cost of living. I mean, you can live in some of these places for $1,000 like a king. You can get a maid. You definitely want to make sure that you're financially set. You do not want to go ahead and have a lot of bills when you're traveling. That kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. You want to try to alleviate all your debt as much as possible before you go out on your journey. You definitely don't want to go ahead and have to pay, a car note, credit card bills. It's just going to be very difficult for you. I would never say that you can't do anything, but it would definitely be a little bit more harder for you to go ahead and achieve your dream of living cheaply abroad in another country when you have a stack of bills in the U.S. So that's definitely something that I'm doing. Also, you definitely want to see if you can maybe get some more income. Passive income is a great way to go ahead and fund your venture and to have money to survive when you're abroad. Another way that you can be a digital nomad is work for international companies like Coca-Cola. You can work for Nissan Ratings. These are companies that are international that you can apply with them in the United States and transfer into some of these different countries. Another one is self-employed. You can be a tax preparer, CPA, be real estate agent. There's just all kinds of things that you can do. I was actually in Ensenada, and I took a cruise, and right there in the courtyard there is a guy making bracelets. It takes him 5 minutes to make these bracelets, and he charged I believe $5. So he's making basically about $1 a minute. So you do the math. If the guy sits there and does 20 bracelets a day, that's $100. And he's only worked 100 minutes, which basically is less than 2 hours. But he's making $100 on $100 a day minimum, and 5 days a week, that's $500. In Mexico, where the average monthly wage is $300 a month. So this is one example out of many, and I just think that women abroad, they are more outgoing than American girls, I guess you could say. Now, there's some places that are conservative, you definitely just want to have some common sense. Now, there are several different ways that you can go about traveling. I don't think there's just one way, but I would highly suggest that you try multiple ways. Multiple streams of income is what's going to definitely keep you going. You want to diversify. Personally, for me, I'm actually going to school to be a web developer. I have my associates in business, my bachelor's in real estate, and also my master's in accounting. So I already have a degree which is going to allow me to teach abroad. So teaching abroad, I think my income is definitely going to be right at the cost of living, but it's not going to make me too much more. So I can either tutor, or I can go ahead and take the skills that I'm learning now as a web developer to take odd jobs or freelance off of apps like Upwork or Freelance. So you definitely want to have a plan and make sure that you have skills to go ahead and pay the bills, I guess you could say. So also drop shipping, affiliate marketing, YouTubing. There's a lot of different things that you can actually do. You just have to kind of do your research, and hopefully as I go on, you will see and hear from me different ways that you can go about it, or I can go ahead and connect you with links to get you in the right direction. So this is my first blog. This is my very first one. So hopefully in the coming months, I'm just going to get better and better and better. This is what I ultimately want to do. This is what Dean Willingham is going to bring to you, aka El Chocolate. I'm going to bring to you cinematic, very nice exotic places with professional filming, and let you know things about that city, things about those locations. And that's how I'm going to make my money, is through content, because I truly believe that you have to do something that you love to do. For me, getting up to go to work every single day, which I'm still doing, you know, I hate it. I hate having a fucking boss. I hate having to open up my check and see how much taxes are taken out. I work sometimes on Saturday. I work sometimes 50 to 60 hours. I'm in the building all day long. And, you know, one day I just woke up and I'm just like, you know what, this is not the life that I want. You know, it's not really satisfying to me to be in the office, you know, 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And, you know, you have your 30, 40, 50, $60,000 car sitting out there, you know, for 10 hours a day waiting for you to get back in just so you can drive it back home for about 30 minutes, and it sits there in your driveway for another 8 hours. So that is something that I definitely want to go ahead and take advantage of, is to be a nomad. And I will try to go more into detail about each specific country later on down the road. But, you know, the whole goal of becoming a digital nomad is to go ahead and have a nice living in a developing country. You know, I'm not talking about living in squalor, you know, in huts or anything like that. I'm talking about living in a decent, you know, area of a different country, Colombia, Ecuador, Thailand. You know, you can do that pretty cheaply. I am going to show you videos along the way to go ahead and be little checkpoints, if you will, to allow you to see my progression, to allow you to maybe get some ideals on what I'm doing. So, and you may be able to go ahead and find some mistakes. I'm not perfect. So with that said, the goal, digital nomad, is to go ahead and create employment, create income through the internet, whether that's be affiliate marketing, YouTube videos, creating content, making websites, or doing a little bit of web design. The possibilities are endless. Right now we're in a digital age where this is the new future. I mean, YouTube videos, affiliate marketing, drop shipping, you know, all that stuff is definitely starting to really carve out a whole career sector in the future, if not already. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is my first vlog, and I am going to bring some extraordinary shots to you, and look for me to go ahead and bring you another video probably within another month. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.